Hello, Lori dear. We are indeed here, Xanadu, with the Four Collectives, the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Council of Nine, and the Council of Light. And we are very pleased to speak about some new things that we have not brought forth as of yet. And today will be a time where we have chosen to do so. We are going along on the theme of earth changes. We would like to speak about those earth changes that may give some of you some stress, some fear, some anxiety. Though we again are speaking of these as we would like to bring forth the energy and the emotion that these changes may bring about, may inspire. Now we know we have made a previous video that did address this topic, though we would like to again spend time on this topic as it is something we find on these sides of things very important. We would like to speak about some changes and speak about what could possibly happen. Now these are possibilities, this is not exact. There is no way for us on this side of things to give you exact dates, exact times, exact ways in which these changes will unfold. We do know that they will unfold. However, there is a lot of variance in the time when it would happen and how and where it will happen. So we feel the best way we can assist you, and we want to assist you, that's why we're here on this side of things, the best way we can assist you at this time is to bring forth some of these general scenarios, possible scenarios, theoretical scenarios that could happen. And we feel they will be close enough to what possibly may happen. So bringing forth these scenarios, we hope will bring forth, again, these said emotions and thoughts so that now we can bring them forth, now we can transmute them. So when these changes do happen, and they will happen, you will be better able to assist yourself with an inner knowing and an inner understanding and calm, and assist others. Let's imagine you were on a beautiful coast, a coast where many of you right now, as the season is beginning to change, are thinking, wouldn't it be wonderful to be there on a coast, on a beach, where there's sun, where there's warmth, where there's the gentle waves, where there is a sense of serenity. Now imagine yourself there. Now, I want you to imagine a wall of water coming at you. We are very serious about this. We want you to imagine a wall of water coming at you and all the people around you and all the land around you. Now this energy that we are hoping to inspire, we are hoping to inspire this great amount of fear that we believe would be what would happen, right? You would immediately be in the flight or fight mode, and in this circumstance most likely you would be in the flight mode. You would want to remove yourselves as quickly, and your loved ones and anyone you see around you, as quickly as possible away from this wall of water. Now walls of water will happen because of certain earth changes like earthquakes. Now for some of you, you may not be able to come along with us in this imaginative ride and to imagine yourself on a calm beach and then seeing a wall of water. So what we would ask of you is, when you are alone in a calm state, possibly meditating or just in a quiet state, think about some of these things. Now, immediately Lori just had a reaction of, wait a second, should we be thinking about things that are bringing up fear throughout our day? Is that not good for our frequency? Now, we would say yes, and we'd also say no, because we are thinking here of the wider picture we are thinking of how can we assist humanity when these earth changes come. And we know that one of the best ways we can do that is to bring up these ideas and these scenarios and let the fear arise. So then when the changes actually happen, you will be better prepared. So you can think of it this way. If these changes and these changes will happen in particular places around the world, and often there may be simultaneous changes happening, that fear is going to come out then. Okay, so let's think of it this way. Instead of the fear coming out then, let's have the fear come out now. We are, and you could think of this as in like psychotherapy, as we are trying to desensitize you to these ideas. We're trying to get you familiar with these ideas so that when these do happen, you will not be caught off guard in the shock. We are trying to get you through some of the shock, some of the paralyzing fear that can happen. So we would like you to spend some time imagining scenarios that would cause you fear or shock, and imagining yourself in these scenarios and what you might do. Think of ways that you might be able to help yourself or another. We simply want you to play these ideas in your imagination so that you will become familiar with them and you may begin to find ways that you could actually help yourself or others. Now, we know this may seem strange to some of you, though we are sure on this side of things that this indeed does help. We want you to be prepared. We want you to not be paralyzed in fear or panic. We do not want you to be paralyzed in destabilizing shock. So we would like you to bring forth some of these ideas and let the emotion arise. Some of you may be thinking that if you bring these ideas up and you feel them in your heart, you're going to begin to cry. And every time you do it, you may not stop crying. We would like to say you will stop crying. This is a path of allowing emotion to come up and to let it go. There may be some intense emotion, though it will be transmuted, and the crying will stop. You will begin to go through phases of different emotions and different thoughts. We are hoping this will continue to assist you. We are, on this side of things, concerned that those of you who are listening to this video, and we know many of you who are listening to this video are within the Awakened Collective. And we would like to say you are our best assets. We are looking to you to help those around you to remain calm, to help those around you that will be in a state of shock and panic and will be in an amazing amount of distress. If you are able to prepare yourself for these earth changes, which will be coming, we have stated before in a previous video, after next year's spring equinox. So we're speaking of sometime after the 2021 spring equinox. We had originally said June, and we are still thinking around there, but we would like to say and caution there is some variance. Though we would also like to say they will be happening, they will be coming. This is all part of the plan that needs to happen in order for those around you to awaken. You have been awakened. You have this time to prepare. This time to prepare is an incredible opportunity for yourself and for those around you who you love. As now you can prepare, now you can get ready. And a lot of getting ready has to do with your heart. It has to do with your mind. It has to do with clearing. It has to do with transmuting. Now, We would much rather you spend time in preparation on what needs to come out of your heart, what needs to be released from your mind, we'd like to say, so that when these things happen, you indeed can be in a clearer state. A clearer state. Imagine yourself in a clear state when these changes come. Initially, see the changes, let that fear come up, let that panic come up, let that paralysis come up, let that hopelessness come up. And then it will be transmuted, and it may take some time for some of you. It may take days, weeks, months. For some of you, it will be quicker than others. For some of you have done more clearing than others. And then the second part of this is to then imagine yourself being calm, being in a place where you can think, being in a place of a state of mind where you know what to do next, where you have some good ideas. Now, we're not saying that when these changes happen that you have to be like a superhero, okay? We're not asking that of you. We are asking that you remain calm and you can remain in a state where your mind can be in a creative place. Your heart and mind can work together in order to think of creative ideas in the moment, in order to help whatever needs help in that moment. Now, some of you, when these earth changes will happen, will not be anywhere near them. You will be at home. You might be just watching on the television. You might be listening on the radio. For those of you that are in this place, you can still, at that point, prepare yourself for this actuality. And when it does happen, so that when it happens, you can remain calm. You can remain clear-minded. You will undoubtedly feel some sadness, and there will be some degree of shock, though it will be a lot less if you do these methods we are speaking about, this clearing beforehand. Now, if you are in a place where you're not near these changes, these cataclysms that will indeed happen, you can help those around you by remaining calm, by listening to them, by giving them your ears and your heart to listen to them. Many people will be distressed. They will be very concerned about the end of the world. There will be a lot of talk of the end of the world. And we know in the Awakened Collective that for us and for many, this is not the end of the world. This is the beginning. Now we know that all of this can be a lot to take in. It can be a lot to integrate. Some of these ideas seem like fairy tales. They seem too far away from your known reality thus far, that you may be interested in just letting go of these ideas. And we would say that's okay. And we would also say that if you need to think of these ideas as stories, as fairy tales, or as myths, think about the Bible. Now we know just saying that will bring up a lot of emotion for a lot of you. But think about some of the stories in the Bible. Now some of those stories are not easy to listen to if you really listen to them. There is moments in these stories where there is suffering, there is some pain, there is confusion, there is what we would call death, and what we all know is not death, but it is a transition. We would say maybe it's easier to think about this idea of what we have before us as another biblical story. A different one, but another one. What we mean is, for those of you who have been introduced to stories in the Bible, some of them have been, and might seem very strange, okay? But somehow we integrate them. We might think some of them are a bit like far-fetched, but we still allow them to be, even though we can't understand how that might happen, okay? One example is with Jonah and the whale, okay? That kind of idea, where this is a particular story that came immediately to Lori's mind of, for some reason, this story always made her think, what? And she always thought it was very far-fetched, and she just kind of would snicker about it a little bit, and in the end she just thought, well, all right, let it be. It's somebody's myth, it's another's myth, and she allowed it to kind of sit within her. Now, we are asking you to think about this time where we are going through the end of a cycle, the end of an earth cycle. We are coming to a point where we have chosen, along with Mother Gaia, to ascend. Now, this ascension is simply a spiritual movement, a spiritual growth. The difference here is we're choosing to grow quickly in a small period of time. Where we are going to evolve to would have happened if it wasn't like this. It would have happened in a slower amount of time. However, we have chosen as a collective, and when we say we mean us on this side of things and you on those side of things, we have chosen to allow this to happen in a quicker period of time. So there's a lot that comes with that. And we would like to say, and to remind you briefly before we go and end this video, that remember, death is a transition. And those who will be passing during these earth changes have made a decision soul-wise within their soul to do so. It is not as if things are going to happen to people where they were not aware of this event, whatever was going to happen to them. They were aware of it, and they knew on a soul level. It isn't that people are going to be quote-unquote victims in this situation, okay? Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own way of moving through this time. And those who are passing in one form or another have chosen to do so, and what they have learned and will learn in that transition is immense, is valuable, and they wanted it. They wanted that learning. This time, this special time, we would like to say, of ascension on Mother Earth is an opportunity for these events do not happen often in this particular way. This is an opportunity. So we would like to say, when you know of people passing, we would like people and animals and creatures and flora and fauna, everything. Some will pass, most will not through these earth changes. Remember, it was their choice. They knew about it beforehand, and we are hoping this will help you understand that this is not a time of sadness that is being pushed upon you or others. It is a time where we all, on a soul level, have identified, have chosen with the path that we are on. We hope this has served you today. We know we have talked about a few things we haven't talked about before, and we know that this may bring up a lot of questions for many of you. Though we would like to say we have lots of time to speak about things. We have lots of time to make more videos, and we will. We send you so much love, so much light. The Arcturians, the Pleiadians, the Council of Nine, and the Council of Light with Xanadu, adieu, and adieu.
Very good, babes.
I hope so.